I'm hitting record right now, so if you don't want to be seen, go ahead and turn your cameras off, but if you don't mind, I think it pretty much blurs it out. So what I'm going to show you today is how to take your Google Slides and edit the master. So let me find the screen that I want to share. So I'm going to share screen. Again, it's going to put it into full screen mode. So if you want to be able to work side by side, just hit escape and you should be able to narrow your windows and be able to work side by side with me. So here we are. So I did this presentation before for the district, and basically I go through and I show how to create hyperlinks. So if you want me to show how to create hyperlinks also, because this was really basic training for entry-level tech users. I think all of us are pretty tech savvy at this point compared to how we were this time last year. But if you'd like me to show you how to create hyperlinks, can you put your name in the chat? And if we have even one person, I'll just go over that quickly. So it doesn't look like anyone's putting their name in there. So I think we're all pretty good with hyperlinks. So at the bottom of the slide deck, you'll see a bit.ly link. That's the link to these slides that you can grab and use this as a resource later to go back and review. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over the objectives. So I was gonna show you how to add links to slides. Most of this is gonna be working on editing the master and then using Google Draw to create interactive templates. So let's go ahead and get started with inserting links. You guys know how to do this, but one thing that you may not know are the shortcut keys. And if you don't know the shortcut keys, I'm gonna give you quite a few. So if you have a piece of paper and pencil where you can write them down, they all start with using the control key. And if you're using a Mac users know it's the command key. And you would hold the control or the command key down and you'll click these other keys. So the first key that I'm gonna show you, or shortcut, is the control K. And control K is for creating a link for text, or it can also be used for an image. So I'm gonna go ahead and just open a new slide presentation. So if you're gonna try some of this, you might wanna just open a new slide presentation also. And I'm gonna go ahead, wait for this to load, close the theme out so we can see better. And I'm just gonna go ahead and make a title right here. So my title. Now, if I wanna link this, we all know, let me go and grab a link right here. So I'll grab this link. Control C is copy, Control C. So you don't have to right click, click copy. And in the beginning, it's cumbersome to get used to it until you remember. But I promise you, if you force yourself to keep trying the shortcut keys, you're gonna see how much faster it is. So now I'm gonna use the shortcut key, Control K, that's to enter a link. So Control K, Control V to paste, and enter. See how fast that was? I didn't have to right click or anything. So again, Control C is to copy that link, Control V is to paste, Control K is to open the window up so that you can paste the link, Control V, paste it, enter, and you're done. So now when I click on this, it's gonna take me to that Google slide deck. You can do the same thing with an image. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this image or on this box and delete it. I'll just insert an image. Upload from my computer. So I'll just do this one. And I can do the same thing for the image. I can click on it, Control K opens it up, V, enter. So I just used the same link that was on my clipboard. Again, Control C copy, Control V paste, Control K is to open up that box. So now my students have this nice handy dandy image that they can click on and it'll take them somewhere. You cannot do this in Edit the Master. When I show you Edit the Master or Edit Master, basically it's going to take you into the master slide and you'll put all your images in there. So when you're here, the kids cannot accidentally delete this. You can have an image here, but you can't have a link here because the links will be unclickable. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So we'll go back here and we covered links. If you have questions, please put it in the chat box. Caleb is monitoring that for me. And now what I'm going to show you is in Edit the Master. Why would you want to edit the master? Well, you can change the font size and style and create your own theme. You can create new slides for your theme, and you can insert images and GIFs in the background that the kids can't touch. So if you like this right here, Caleb, because you said you like Bitmojis, I have an instruction on how you can create a dancing Bitmoji. Use Snapchat to do it. And I'll give you that link at the end, so you have to stay for the whole thing. Right here in the instructions are links to different slide decks. So I personally create my own slide decks, but sometimes I'll use Slides Carnival, which I found out yesterday. Don't download anything from there right now. They got hacked. But slidesgo.com, awesome. Slidesmania, I use both of those platforms and they have really fancy slide decks. So I would go ahead and just use these two if you want something fancier, and then you can still go in and edit the master. So I'm going to go up here to this slide that we had, and I'm going to show you how to edit the master. So if you look up here, you have this toolbar. Right here it says slide. So click on that, and when you go down almost to the bottom, you'll see Edit Master. So we're going to go into Edit Master. And if you're following along and I'm going too fast, just let me know and I'll slow it down a little bit. So here we are. You'll notice this is your layout. This is your theme that you'll see. And all layouts include a blank slide. So we're going to really take advantage of this blank slide in a second. So when you go to the top, the very first slide is the master slide. So I'm going to click on that. You can tell I've selected it because it's outlined in blue now. And once I do that, then all of this right here can be changed to how I want. This is Arial, probably the most boring font there is. Maybe Times New Roman is more boring. So I want to change this font. So I'm going to click on the title or the box, and it highlights everything for you. You don't have to go to the end and click and drag over to highlight. It's already highlighted. Then I go up here to the font styles. And for me, one of my title font favorites, I like Bankers. I also like one called Ribeye, and I'll show you how you can get more fonts. I have a gazillion, so if you want any suggestions, I can tell you. So this is probably one of my favorites, Ribeye. And now if you notice at the layout, all of my title fonts are now Ribeye. So that's how you can change the theme. And you can even do it in those fancy slides that you get from SlidesGo and Slidesmania. Now, if I want to change my body text, I can just click in the body text, and sometimes this gives me trouble. So I don't know why I have issues with this, but you click the first one, you can highlight, but sometimes it doesn't work for me. So I just click anywhere and I go up and then back down like that or like that. And now it's not working. So let me go up here, highlight all of it because you want everything to be changed. Again, go up to your font, pick the font that you like, and you'll notice that the font on all your slides are the font. So you don't have to go in every time you make a text box now, even if it's on a blank slide, it's going to use the font that you selected. So it's really nice because you don't have to always go in and change the font or change the size. You can make it whatever size you want. So that's basics Edit the Master. Now the other thing I can do is I can change the background color of the slide. So I can go up here to background, and remember I'm in my master, and I could put an image back there, or I could just change the color. I could go to the gradient colors and make it more fancy, and then click done. And notice now all of the slides have changed to that blue color. Now maybe I want this one, instead of this one to be blue, I could make this one red. So I could go here and I could pick the red color. So this, when you click Edit Master, applies to everything, but that doesn't mean you can't go into each slide and change them the way that you want each of these to be changed. Okay, so you have a lot of different things that you can do to all the different slides. This one right here, I know a lot of teachers don't like this gray background, so all you have to do is not click on the text box, but click outside it, and you can change that background gray color to something more appealing. So when you do this one, it's actually filled. So this is not what they did was they put a box over half of the slide, and then they filled the box with a color. So we're gonna come up here to the bucket, and we're gonna fill that with, I don't know, how about some purple? So now this slide is lavender. And you could even change the font on the text color of the font. You can come up here and you can change it to all black, so everything's black if it stands out better with the purple. So again, just a few different things to customize it, but what I really want to show you is how you can put your images and things like that in the background so that the students can't touch it. So I'm going to go ahead and use another shortcut key, and that one is Control-Z. You want to teach your students this one because kids have a meltdown when they accidentally delete something or they move something and they didn't want it there and they're just like, So Control-Z is undo. So I'm just going to hold the Control key down, and I'm just going to keep hitting Z until I get it to where I want it to be. So I'm just gonna undo everything I did. Whoops, let me click on this. Whoops, I went too far. So now I've gone too far, I'm gonna go Control-Y, which is redo. And now I'm back where I wanna be. So Control-Z, I hit it a bunch of times, it wasn't responding, so I thought it wasn't working. I hit it too many, so I kept my finger on Control, holding it down, and I hit Y a few times. That's redo. So I went and did a bunch of steps, too many steps, so I went and did the Y and went back to the steps I wanted. Basically, I just wanted the font to be changed and the background to stay white. So any questions, Caleb, or are we good? We're good? All right. So now we're gonna leverage the blank slide. So here you have a blank slide, and we want to take this slide and we want to customize it. You don't want to use the blank slide in your deck. You want to keep a blank slide. So what I tell everybody to do is take that blank slide, copy it, and paste it a bunch of times. So you have a bunch of blank slides that you can do what you want with, so that you're not utilizing that free blank slide. You always want to keep at least one blank slide. So as you can see, it's outlined in blue, so I've selected it, and I'm going to use those shortcut keys. So I'm going to go Control-C to copy it, and now I'm just going to hit V to paste a bunch of them. So now I have a whole bunch of blank slides that I can do what I want to. So I'm not going to use the one from the theme. I'm going to go to the first one that I copy and pasted. And on this slide, I'm going to insert some images. So I'm just going to do some random images. This isn't going to be anything like mind-blowing yet. So I'm going to, we'll just upload from the computer. I have a couple on here from what I was doing. So I'm going to upload 2 images. And what I did was I held Control down and I selected 2. The other thing you can do is you can click outside. So I push down and then drag across, and that'll select multiple. And click open or enter, and now I've got my images in here, and they're grouped, so you have to click outside of them to ungroup them. So we're gonna put lunch like this. We'll put my 2 ice cream scoops here. And then I'm gonna have some kind of text beneath it. So for this one, I can just insert text, and notice when you're in Edit Master, you also get these placeholders. We're going to talk about the placeholders in a second. Right now, I just want to get that text box in there with the information. So let me type in my question. What did you bring for lunch today? And then one more, let's see, text box. Okay, so here's my slide. I'm ready to go. I'm going to go back to my slide presentation that I'm working on. I'm just going to click over here outside. It lets me exit Edit Master. Notice this is the slide I was working on. I want to add that slide. So just like you would add a slide from the theme, you want to go up to the little shark tooth drop down next to the add slide, and notice this is now part of my theme. So I can add this. Now, because I did it in Edit Master, I'm pushing on this and nothing is moving. Nothing can be deleted. Now, if I want to put a link on this, I can. All I have to do is I can just put a shape on it. Oops. So get a square and just put a square over the top of it. And then hit Control K, V. Oh, I don't have anything on my clipboard anymore. I have to make this transparent. Let me grab this link again. See, go back here. Let me make this transparent real quick. So basically, I'm just gonna go up to the fill bucket and click transparent. So Control K, V, enter. So now this shape, now can they delete the link? Yeah, but that's not as bad as deleting all your images or moving them around or deleting your directions or your questions. So you can still link things over the top of whatever you add by adding a shape or a text box or maybe a pointing finger, and you link the pointing finger, whatever you want. But this is how you can maintain control of the slide and make sure that the students aren't accidentally deleting information or parents or anything like that. Can they delete this? Absolutely. Just teach them how to edit the master and they can go in and delete your master slide. I mean, there's no foolproof way of making sure they can't do anything to it, but this pretty much guarantees that whatever you put on that slide, it's gonna stay there. And the only thing they can delete are the different little images that you put over the top when you're in this part of the slide. The other thing that I like to show with Edit Master is how I used to use, so everyone knows I was a 5th and 6th grade teacher, and those are my 2 favorite grades. So I used a lot of graphic organizers. And so what I would do is back here, I would insert an image of a graphic organizer. So I'm gonna insert an image. And the reason why I like graphic organizers is because a lot of people are gonna use this for benchmark and for different things that are like worksheets. And that's perfectly fine with me. You just insert a text box over everywhere you want them to put in their answer. But think about maybe putting in once in a while a graphic organizer where they have to really critically think about the information they're going to be adding to the digital worksheet, which is a graphic organizer. So I'm going to get one from my drive here. I have a folder of graphic organizers. And I'll share any of this stuff with you guys that I've created if you want it. I've shared it in almost every single one of my sessions. So we'll do this one. This one's a pattern. So this is good for science. So this is basically the image. I'm going to stretch it a little bit that they will see. So what I want the students to type stuff in here. So one way that you can do this is you can insert a text box, and this is where those placeholders go. So you could do a subtitle placeholder and you just put it right here. And you can change the font size to something easier for the kids to work with. Hold on, 12. And then you can change it so it's black. So now the kids are gonna see this. So I'm gonna click over here just to give you an idea. And I'm gonna go ahead and add that slide. And the kids can see this. Now, when you do this, a lot of teachers will do this because it shows up. And the kids can click there and they can start typing. You can also insert a text box. It does the same thing, and once the kids get used to it, the only difference is they don't see it. Like this, they see, click and add subtitle. And a long time ago, you used to be able to change what that said. They don't let you do that anymore. But when the kids click here, they'll get a text box and they can start typing in their answers. So this is another way to create your own theme. What I did was I had a slide deck called Graphic Organizers. And what I would do is I would just copy that slide deck. And then because they were all in here, I would just pick which ones I was going to use. So I put my instructional slides, and then I would choose one of my graphic organizer slides, and then a few more instructional slides with videos and stuff, and then another graphic organizer slide. So I had a whole slide deck of just graphic organizers that were in Edit Master, so the kids couldn't touch them. And then I didn't have to always keep recreating it. And the graphic organizer slide deck was in big bold letters, said template. So I knew I would just make a copy of it, change the name of it, and just use it so it's a lot faster. So this is basically what it is to Edit Master. The other, and I do have a couple slide decks of this, the other thing that I've done is I've, in the slide deck, I put a GIF in the background. And this is always very wow factor for the kids. So in that slide, I did put links to Giphy.com. And this is where I get most of mine. So let's say you were gonna do like the anatomy of a wave. So I'll put a wave in here. Whoops, didn't type it all. Still didn't type it all. W-A-V-E, there we go. What is it doing? W-A-V-E. Why is my computer doing that? Okay, let me go back. I don't know what's going on. How about hurricane? H-U-R. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my computer. For some reason. Okay, let's try this again. I swear I'm typing correctly. It's just not letting me type everything in. Huh. Okay, so something's wrong with Giphy. Let me go to Tenor. Tenor is another GIF site. Not too many people know about it. If you want, you can actually put a Tenor keyboard on your Apple phone. So from here, you can find a lot of good images. Here's a good satellite image. There's this really cool one on Giphy that I was, oh, here it is. Awesome. So you have to, once you do your search, you can't save it from the search results. So click on the image. And once you get to the image, then right click and save the image as. So this one is the one that does take a little bit more time because you have to download the images onto your computer or save it in your drive. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to select an image this time. And you can put any image you want. So these are your options. You can upload it. You can also take a picture with your camera of yourself if you want, or something else. You can locate it by the URL if you have it, if it's in your Google Drive, or you could also do a search. So I'm going to upload it because I already found the one that I want. Oops. So as you can see, it's pretty wow-ish. Now the lessons that I've created for NGSS that are interactive, I've done a lot of this kind of stuff, and it's basically just drag and drop. So I'll show you what I would do with something like this. So on top of this, you can layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search the web for a cityscape. And then I'm going to insert the cityscape, and it's a PNG. If you noticed, I put PNG on there. That's because a PNG is a transparent background. So you won't see anything behind the black buildings. Let me see if I got this on. That looks good. So now when I click out and I come over here, it's one of my slides. So if I wanted them to label the parts of the hurricane, this is a real low level knowledge, just a recall activity, but it could be something for like a pre-assessment. What I would do is I would have all the labels right here. So I could just create a text box. And yes, these can be deleted, but and then let's back to it. I would fill the back of it with white, maybe center it. Oops, wrong one. And now they have this one, and then you can just drag these down here. If I can get a hold of it. You can keep all of the labels down here, and the kids would just take it and put it where the eye is. You could also put a pile of arrows and have the arrows pointing. But all of this lends itself to drag and drop. If you're a primary teacher, you could have a T-chart, and at the top it could have SH and CH, the two blends, and then at the bottom you could have a bunch of images, and they all either had the SH or CH blend in them, and they would drag the images to the side of the T-chart that it, you know, for sorting. You could have answers at the top, like 35 and 48, and then a bunch of math problems at the bottom, and the kids had to solve the math problems and put them into where the correct answer was. There's just a million different ways you could do something like this, just to make it more interactive. The more stuff you put in the edit master slide, the fewer things that can go wrong, the fewer things that can get deleted. When you're talking about dragging and dropping answers or problems, that is where this word could get deleted. So what you do if that happens is you can teach the children either Control-Z, or you can teach them how to go to their the version history by going to File, Version History, see the version history, and then over here, they click on this drop down and they can go back to the version before they accidentally deleted something. So go back here. This is before I filled it in with the white, and now it's here. And then all they have to do is restore that version. The other thing you can do is you can go in to their assignment in your Google Classroom, in the Google Drive folder, find their name, find the assignment, or find the assignment, find their name, and then you can restore that version so that all of the words are back on there. So I'm trying to give you some ways that's some of the things I've seen in Google Classroom that teachers are struggling with. The students are accidentally deleting things, or, you know, for some reason they can't find it. When parents are opening the assignments for their kids, they're hitting the X. And so they're deleting the entire assignment. Well, it's just deleted out of Google Classroom. It's still in the student's folder. They just have to submit it, you know, without it showing up right there. So just a lot of things like that. But is there anything you guys want me to show you with Edit the Master that you'd like to see? No, you guys are good? This is everything you hoped for. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll go to my drive and I'll get those folders for you that I have of, let's see, templates. This thing is really delayed. There we go. Oh, this is the wrong one. My bad. Let me just search for it. Just gonna do instructional. I can't remember if I called them instructional slides or, here we go. I don't think this is it. Here they are, instructional templates. So I'll share this folder with you guys. Basically, if you've heard of EduProtocols, I've made a whole bunch of them for you. There are, for grammar, there are there are little parts, bigger little parts, and then there's like middle school level, which maybe 6th grade would be able to use. There are collaborative templates in this folder. And these are all like the Cyber Sandwich. This is a museum that I created, and I linked the slides to each other. If you don't know how to link slides, I can show you how to do that. Let's see, go back here. There are Jamboard templates, graphic organizers. The graphic organizer I showed you. I have a whole bunch more. These are from Matt Miller, and they're in Google Draw. So what you would do is you'd open it, and then you would, you know, insert your title and erase the directions that he has there for you, and that could become the background of your Google slide. There are just a bunch of graphic organizers in here that I used when I taught 5th and 6th grade. Every time, language arts graphic organizers. These are for higher level students though. They're not really for primary. So 5th and 6th grade teachers have at it. A friend of mine is a Google trainer, and she gave me access to her folder. So that's another one that you can use. Go to my start, maybe it's in my start. Every time I come out of that, here it is. It goes back to shared with me because it's actually on my personal drive. There's a T-chart one that I was going to show for primary, but I can't seem to find it. Basically a T-chart, you would make it in Google Draw. So let me show you that. Too hard. I'm having issues. I'm not a mouse user, I'm a trackpad user because I'm a Mac user. So the mouse and the Windows platform are my second language. Okay, so when you're making a Google Draw that you want to be your background for your slide, one of the things you want to do is you want to go to File and Page Setup. A Google Draw is a 4:3 ratio. A Google Slide is a 16:9 ratio. So you want to select that 16:9. Now, there are some teachers who will take their Google Slides and they'll go to File, Page Setup, find it, and they'll change it to 8.5 by 11. This is great, especially if you're going to have to print something out. You would just change it to 8.5 and 11, and you want to make sure that it's on inches. You do have the ability to change it to pixels, is one a lot of people use. And if you want to, there's a good reason to use pixels. I'll show you that if you'd like to see it. But when it's like this, look how small the word is. It's hard for the kids to see. So I usually suggest to the teachers to create a text box right here and write best viewed at 100%. So then you change this to ginormous font so they can see it. Whoops. So we'll do that at 96. Well, maybe that's too big. Let's do 48. That's good. So then you teach your students to come over here to this. You could even add an arrow if you wanted to, pointing to that magnifying glass. You probably want to make that bold and red. So these are your weights and your colors of your lines and your arrows right here. So they want to go here and they want to change this to 100. And now they can see better, right? Or they could change it to 50. It's at 43, that's what fit is. So 50 would be even a little better, where they could start dragging stuff, whoops, dragging stuff around. Kind of hard to see the eye. And this thing is not wanting to move for me. There we go. So if you're going to do 8.5 by 11, obviously in your Google Drawing, you're going to want to go to File, Page Setup, and make this 8.5 by 11. So here, if you want to make a T-chart, I would just grab a line, put the line across like this, grab another line, put it down, oops, oh, what happened? Put another line down here. And then if you're gonna do something like the blend I was talking about, you just put SH, put it in the middle, horizontally and vertically, change the size of it to something large so that the kids can see. And then what I always do is I just copy this and paste it. So I'm gonna click on it until I get the crosshairs. See the crosshairs? Control C, V to paste it, and then move the copied one over here. So it's exactly the same size, and change that to a C. To put the images down here, you can just do an image search right inside of Google. So search the web, again, using that PNG, so shell, and then PNG to make sure you got the transparent background. I like shells that look real. Let's see, I don't know if this is a PNG though. Yeah, it's not. Delete. There is a shell I use all the time in my presentation. Here it is. I know this one is. See how it's transparent? You can see just the shell. So I'm gonna put this over here. And then you just keep doing, you just keep going in and finding things. So CH, chair. Whoops, I hit upload from the computer, darn it.
Ronnie, sometimes when I do a search, I actually just type transparent and then whatever the word is. And
Oh,
then
really?
I don't have to worry about PNG.
Oh, that's a
So
good
when you
idea.
do a search, do transparent shark or whatever, and see what comes up.
Woo woo. Nice tip, Caleb. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my technical terms. Okay, let's do a chair. And then you might want to put something on here that has the TH blend just to make sure that they're paying attention. Like a tooth that has TH at the end. And that's also testing their blends at the beginning or the end of the word. Maybe you don't want a root canal. We'll just do a clip art. I try to do realistic pictures. There we go. Doesn't really look like a tooth, but I guess it kind of does. So basically when the kids get to it, this right here, we'll see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all of these. Oh, I don't want the blend. Here, let me put this over here. Normally I would do this on the slide, not in the Google Draw. So let me select them all and I'm gonna cut them, but they'll be on my clipboard because I'm cutting them. Control X is cut. So now I'm gonna do SH, CH, and get rid of this. Now when I go to my slide deck, I go to Slide, Edit Master. And this time I'm gonna pick this, new blank slide, and I'm gonna do background. I'm gonna choose image from my drive this time. I don't know if it's gonna let me use my Google Draw, but I'm gonna try. Doesn't look like it. I'm gonna do SH, CH. No. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make it an image. So I'm gonna go File, Download as a JPEG or a PNG, whichever you want. And I'll go back to that. I'm gonna have to upload it because I downloaded it. Oh, to my downloads. So I think what I'll do is I'll go back to my page setup and go back to my non-custom 16:9. back here, I'll add the slide. And now I have those on my clipboard, so now I'm gonna paste them. You would normally look for them here. So Control V, here they are, I'll ungroup them. And then I'll just put them down at the bottom. And I could, again, just like I did in Google Drawings, you can search for images in Google Slides, Google Docs, and I would just add more. And now this is an activity. The kids can't delete the SH and CH or the T-chart. All they can do is drag and drop the shapes into the appropriate column. So that's that, boys and girls. You could, again, like I said, put numbers in here and equations down here, and they'd have to solve the equations and sort those. So let's go back here and make sure I covered everything. So edit master. That's Google Drawings if you want more information. Google Drawings is always PNG, but you can change it to be a solid background if you want. You can also layer, just like you can in Slides. So this is just some more information on how to make how to get the backgrounds in there. If it's a Venn diagram, like I said, I made a whole deck of just these, and these are all in that folder that I'll share with you. And then this right here is just kind of takes you through, again, all the different images of what it looks like to change the background. So let me get a link to that folder. Actually, I'm going to get it from my personal account because this is the shared. Okay. Start. Templates. Okay, stop sharing. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat for you guys. And then if you want to know how to make your Bitmoji dance, I'm going to share what this, this Google trainer is the one who created the slide presentation. So it's pretty cool. And it's just a slide presentation. It just takes you step by step how to make that happen. So that's that. Anybody have any questions before I stop the recording?
I do actually have a question. Do you have a minute?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I was at this awesome meeting yesterday, and it was a bilingual meeting, and just to show who was participating, they allowed us to do like a Google slide, and then we went to the breakout room specific for that Google slide. And then when you started typing, the color changed by each participant in the Google slide. So you could just see all the other students kind of adding and chiming in their ideas and whatnot. Is there any way to do that on the, do you know how to do that on Google Slide?
So it was automatically set up that once you started typing, your color changed?
Yeah.
I have not heard of that before.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that, Caleb?
Yeah, I've seen that in trainings before too, but I don't know how to do it.
I'll look it up and I'll email everybody the how-to for it. If I can find it, I can probably just put it in the trainer blog and someone will answer.
Awesome. Yeah.
So it was on a Google Doc or a Google slide where every single person's typing was a different color.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
I'll look it up and I'll let you guys know how to do that. I'm going to stop the recording right now.